minutes at sleep story pace. There is a moment in the greatest journey ever told when the bravest man alive begs to be stopped. Not by a monster, not by a god, not by a storm that swallows ships whole, by a song. The year is somewhere in the ancient world's long memory. The war of Troy is over. Odysseus, king of Ithaca, the man who built the wooden horse, the man who blinded a Cyclops and outwitted a goddess, is trying to get home. And standing between him and everything he loves is a rocky island. And what lives there? The Sirens, half woman, half bird, creatures of impossible, terrible beauty, their wings dark against the pale sky, their voices carrying across the water like something between a lullaby and a prayer. They perched on their jagged coastal rocks, surrounded by the bleached bones of every sailor who had come before, drawn in, wrecked, lost forever to that sound. No man had ever heard the Sirens sing and lived, until Odysseus decided he wanted to. His crew thought he had finally lost his mind. After everything, after the Cyclops, after Circe, after the edge of the underworld itself, their captain had looked at the most lethal sound in the known world and said, "I want to hear it." But Odysseus never did anything without a reason. He ordered his men to fill their ears with beeswax, every single one of them. Then he had them tie him, tightly, firmly, with no possibility of release, to the mast of the ship. And he gave them one absolute command. No matter what I say, no matter how I beg, no matter how I scream, do not untie me. The ship moved forward. The rocky coast drew near. And then it came. It rose from the island like smoke, like light, like something that bypassed every wall the conscious mind could build and went straight to the center of everything. It was the most beautiful sound Odysseus had ever heard in a life full of extraordinary things. It was the sound of truth, the sound of the universe explaining itself, the sound of the human mind touching something so far beyond its ordinary reach that the only word for it was divine. Odysseus screamed to be released. He pulled against the ropes until his wrists bled. He wept. He raged. He begged his men with everything he had. They rowed on, faces forward, ears sealed, eyes on the horizon. And slowly, the island fell behind. The song faded. The rocks disappeared into the mist. And Odysseus, trembling, exhausted, forever changed, sagged against the mast and breathed. He had heard it, survived it, and carried it with him for the rest of his life. Here is what I believe Odysseus understood. The Sirens were not simply beautiful. They were a frequency, a specific, extraordinary frequency that activated something in the brain that ordinary life never reaches. The ancient Egyptians understood it. The Tibetan monks chanting in their mountain sanctuaries understood it. The great philosophers of Athens argued about it. Sound, the right sound at the right frequency, does something to the human brain that nothing else can. Modern neuroscientists now have a name for what happens. Gamma brainwaves, the highest frequency the brain produces, trigger the release of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, the molecule scientists call the fertilizer of the brain, the molecule that supports focus, learning, memory, and the kind of clear, elevated thinking that the ancient world simply called a gift from the gods. Odysseus heard that frequency from the Sirens, and it changed him. Now imagine accessing that same state, not from a rocky island surrounded by bones, not tied to a mast in a monster-haunted sea, but from wherever you are right now, in 12 quiet minutes. That is the Brain Song, a 12-minute audio built on advanced sound patterns that gently guide your brain into gamma brainwave frequencies, naturally, effortlessly. The same frequencies the Sirens weaponized, but made safe, made yours, every single day. Sharper thinking, deeper focus, a mind that feels for the first time in a long time fully switched on. Odysseus risked everything to hear that sound for a few extraordinary minutes on the open sea. You can try it today completely risk-free with a full 90-day money-back guarantee. The link is in the description. Give your brain 12 minutes and hear what Odysseus heard. Watch the skies and never stop asking questions. Now, here are your image prompts to drop into an AI image generator like Midjourney or Adobe Firefly to get the visuals for your HeyGen video. Image 1. The Sirens on the rocky coast. Dramatic oil painting style. 2 or 3 siren creatures, half beautiful woman, half large dark bird with wide wings. Perched on jagged sea rocks at dusk. Stormy Mediterranean sky, crashing waves, bleached bones scattered on the rocks below them. One siren has her mouth open singing, eyes glowing gold. Epic and cinematic, dark and beautiful. Image 2. Odysseus tied to the mast. Epic cinematic painting style. A muscular ancient Greek warrior lashed tightly to the wooden mast of a ship at sea. His face is anguished, mouth open screaming, straining against thick ropes binding his arms and chest. His crew rose below him with their backs turned, ears sealed with wax. Rocky coastline visible in the misty background, stormlight, dramatic shadows, ancient Greek vessel. Image 3. The ship passing the island. Wide, cinematic shot. A dark, ancient Greek galley, under oar power, passing a rocky, fog-shrouded island at dusk. Silhouettes of winged siren figures visible on the rocks. The sea is rough and gray. One lone figure visible lashed to the central mast. Epic scale. Painterly style. Moody and mythological. Image 4. The brain psalm visual. Soft, glowing digital artwork. A human brain seen from above, radiating golden light and sound waves in concentric circles. The waves are warm amber and gold against a deep midnight blue background. Musical notes and frequency lines weave through the light. Beautiful, scientific and spiritual at the same time. Modern but timeless.